Hey guys, and welcome to another video of In the Basket. Today we're going to be working with something that is a staple in pretty much every home that I've lived in. I'm pretty sure for a lot of you guys it's something you've had throughout your life at some point, and it's chicken and rice. These are chicken thighs. Now, chicken thighs are actually a little more juicy. They actually have more liquid in it, and if you cook them right, they're gonna come out way more tender. I like these pieces of meat primarily when I'm doing things like it's gonna be cut up really small cubes. They hold moisture really well, and it is phenomenal to have when you're cooking in that way. You could do chicken breast if you want to. Those are great pieces of meat as well, and I'm gonna show you some really cool ways today how to cook them frozen. That's right, frozen. So these have been sitting out literally maybe an hour, and they were rock hard when I got them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna thaw them out in our pressure cooker, and then we'll go through and cooking them the rest of the way. Now, to do this, really, really simple. All you're gonna need to do is get your, make sure your pressure cooker everything's set, you got it cleaned, right? You're gonna use the grate, okay? So what's gonna happen, you're gonna take the grate, you're gonna place it into the little rim, if you have one of these, and then you're gonna put some water in there. So I actually have I'm gonna get just a cup of water, so hold on one second. All right, so I'm gonna use just some filtered water. So all you're gonna need to do, put about a cup of water in there, turn on the saute, all right? That's gonna get the water hot and boiling. Now, while that's getting hot, what I am gonna do is this chicken, like I said, rock hard, and it is completely frozen. This, if I work it a little bit, it might break off into some chunks, but there's about 4 pieces, there it goes, 4 pieces in there. I'm not gonna be able to pull those apart. Well, maybe I can. Look at that, sweet. Still frozen all the way through, and I'm just gonna lay them right in on top of my grate. Let's see if I can get this piece to break. Oh, there it goes. Now, the reason why I am doing it, and these are bone in, by the way. So, rule of thumb, if you cook chicken that has bone in, it takes longer to cook. But in a pressure cooker, it doesn't take that much longer, actually. And the cool thing is, even with it being frozen, you're not going to be able to cook it all the way through, but when you go to cook your rice, you're then going to keep the chicken in there and cooking the chicken and the rice together to finish out the cooking process. It's going to be simple, and it's going to be really easy. And the cool thing on top of that is as you're cooking, the drippings that are coming off that chicken are going to help to flavor your rice. So that way you'll have some really good taste going on with it as well. Now, this is frozen, right? It's going to be a mess to put in there. I've got to wiggle this around just a little bit to get it to fit. But as you can see, they're going to fit in there just nicely. So give me one second. Always make sure that when you're working with a chicken that you always do something you always wash your hands. You want to make sure your hands are completely clean. And that way you don't have, because you don't want to, cross-contaminate your stuff, right? Put the lid on. Now, you'll see that because it is frozen, I might have a little bit of a power struggle with the chicken right now to even get this lid on there. But I'm going to get it, press a little bit. There we go. Took a little pressure, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to cancel that, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a high setting. Now, to do this is really, really easy. You can see on mine, there is some settings here. There's a little saute feature, like canning, beans and lentils, fish, veggies, and steaming. Then there's one that's the chicken and the meat one. I'm going to hit that, and if I hit it again, it will increase the time. It depends on how big of chicken I'm using. Now that once we've got that set up and that's getting ready to get hot, it's going to do some pre-cooking, right? I'm not going to follow the entire timer's frame. What I am going to do is I'm going to let it run until it finally hits its numbers. And it'll be, 15 minutes, right? So when it gets to the roughly, I'm going to let it go about 5 minutes under full pressure. Then I'm going to take and do the release on the back, letting the steam off so that way it can not be cooked all the way through. It's just to thaw it out really good and get good way into the cooking process, right? Because then I'm going to cook the rice, that's going to have to get hot again, and then it'll finish cooking out the chicken. Alright, so now we're at 9 minutes. I'm going to actually cancel, because like I said, I don't want to cook all the way through and have it completely done all the way through. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open up my valve. You might get a little water spray. I mean, you might get a little bit of water coming off of it, right? It's okay. It's not gonna do anything wrong. We're gonna wait for our little red knob at the back here to go down. I'm gonna turn this so you guys can see it. It's right there. See, it's still sticking out. So now, while the pressure's coming down, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna get some tongs. We're almost done. There we go. It just released, so now, so you guys can see, this chicken is cooked. I mean, it's a good ways cooked in. Now right here, I'll actually kind of show you. This piece is not all the way cooked through. I can get towards the bone, and I see a little bit of raw chicken at the bone, right? That's okay, because like I said, it's gonna finish cooking all the way through. So you've got the chickens out, right? You're gonna wanna peel. This is extremely hot. For me, I'm not gonna use these skins because the skins are just gonna be nasty and it'll be a weird texture. So I'm actually going to, I'm gonna get rid of my skins right now. So just with a pair of tongs, a fork, anything you have, you just, reach over, pull those skins right off, because you want this meat open. One, finish cooking, but two, your seasonings, right? I'm gonna show you what the top of this looks like, so you guys can see this. It's gonna, you have some little, that's the fat, all right? That's not bad, that's okay, that's good stuff. So now if I pull this out, down in here, you're gonna see there is all the drippings, right? Now that's mixed with water. Oops. The grate, you don't have to clean it off, okay? That's the key. This moment, it's gonna get dirty again because we're gonna put the chicken right back on it, so you don't have to clean this off. What I am gonna do though, is I'm gonna take my little hand towel here, or whatever towel you have. Here's the cool thing. You do have enough water and you do have enough drippings in it. If you choose to, you can use it. Because what this is even though there's like, the only thing is there's like little bitty globs of cooked drippings in here, use it in your rice if you want to. That, I would say, it rendered out, I already used a cup, it rendered out probably another quarter cup. So you know what? For this sake and for taste, I'm gonna keep it in there. Here's the next thing I'm gonna do. I have roughly, in this bowl, I have about 2 cups of water. So what I am gonna do is I'm just gonna pour in a little more water because I know I'm gonna need it. And I'm gonna guess. Listen, if you put too much water in there and your rice comes out and it has a little bit, extra water and it kind of gets a little squishy, that's okay. Trial by error. You gotta learn, you gotta work it out. And as you play with your pressure cooker and how you cook your chicken and how this works, you're gonna get better and better. It's just like anything else. You practice at it, you get good. Cool thing is, it's all in one pot. That's what I love about it. So now we've added a little extra water because you're gonna need that. We got the chicken drippings in there. It's gonna taste amazing. Now we're gonna add the rice. I use jasmine rice. I'm a big fan of it. You can use brown rice. Time frames will vary a little bit because brown rice does take a little bit longer. I use just a jasmine rice that we find at a surplus store, a big giant 20-pound bag. It lasts a long time. It takes forever for it to go bad. And as long as you don't have bugs or any issues like that or mice, you don't have to worry about your food getting tampered with. So then I literally, boom, right in the pot. So here's the deal with seasonings. You can do all sorts of stuff. There is all sorts of fun things like seasoning salts. There's regular sea salt that you can use. You can even get pre-done marinades if you want to. It's entirely up to you, whatever you feel. Seasoning type stuff. It's something that's by it's a name brand. It's kind of like just literally. I mean, you don't have to measure specifics. You don't have to be too precise. You just kind of sprinkle a little bit in there. Now, we'll be honest. Too much salt goes too far. So the seasoning I just used has a little bit of salt content in it. So I'm just going to use that. I'm not going to do a lot more on the salt stuff, right? But I am going to use, I am a big fan of using pepper type contents. This one's like a seasoning pepper. It's got a bunch of different peppers in it. And I just sprinkle, I mean, literally, look, see? I don't even know how much that is. Don't know. I do care because I don't want to go crazy because I know pepper's a little spicier. So then I just sprinkle, done, right? The other thing is I also like to use stuff that has like heat. I love spicy foods. If you love spicy food, here's something I strongly suggest. Go find yourself ground. You can do regular pepper flake if you want to, but what I also do is I use a ground red pepper. Stuff is great. It's fine ground, so you're already going to get a little bit of that heat, and a little bit goes a long way depending on your sense of taste. So I just do like literally a dash or a sprinkle or whatever you want to call it right back in there, okay? So I put this in there, and now the rice is going to be good to go, okay? So I'm going to take my little grate, put my grate back in here, just get it to set. I'm going to take my chicken now, and I'm going to put the chicken right back in there. As I put the seasoning on top of my chicken, what's going to happen is it's going to steam. It's going to start releasing some of the juices. Then some of the extra seasoning is going to run off down into the rice. So now I'm doing like a double dosing of flavor. I'm flavoring not from just the chicken, but I'm flavoring my rice too. So now you've got this really cool combination going. So I'm going to use a little bit of, I said not a lot of salt, right? So I'm going to use a little bit of, I'm a big fan of garlic salt. I love a little garlic salt. You don't have to be crazy with it, just a little, right? And then I'm going to use the same other seasoning. So this is like a grilling seasoning. I'm a big fan of grilling seasonings. They have all that stuff you need. I'm going to sprinkle just over the top of each. Done, okay? And here, I'll show you guys what I did. So you'll notice the top of my chicken. See? Just a little bit. You sprinkle it all along the top here. You're good to go. No worries. I'm going to come and put the lid back on top. Remember, the water is already in there for the rice to cook. And now I'm going to seal this up. Done. On my pressure cooker, I am going to do the, where is it? This one, it's the rice one. 6 minutes. And now it's going to auto start. I'm going to make sure that you always want to make sure I forget what they exactly call this. I call it a dampener. But it's just a little weight that allows enough steam out to not allow the pressure cooker to, regulate. But make sure that it's sitting on there and it's not tilted where it'll hold the steam, and I'll let it go. That's it. And now for the next 6 minutes, and it'll probably take like 8 because the water's going to get hot again. For the next few minutes, I'm going to go and do whatever I need to. It just went off from the rice setting. That's been about 6 minutes on that. So now we're going to release the pressure again. By the way, I wanted to let you guys know I didn't give you the ratios for the rice. The way that it normally works is that for every 1 cup of rice, you do 2 cups of water. With a pressure cooker, I've learned that if you're going to do 2 cups of rice, or even just the 1 cup, you want to go like maybe a cup and a half or a cup and a 3/4, right? Just a little bit below the full line on a cup, measuring cup. Because the water is going to keep in there, so it's not going to really evaporate a lot of water in it. So that's kind of just a rule of thumb. Like I said, also you're just going to kind of play with it, kind of figure out what works good for yours. Look at that. Look at that. You got this perfect little seasoned chicken going on the top there. All right. Now the piece de resistance. This is the cool part. This is one of the reasons why I love this thing so much. Check it out. So you've got a little grate right here. I'm going to pop that so you guys can see this. Look at our rice. Oh, I'm so excited. And look, it's perfect. It's good and cooked. Now this is 1 cup. This is just 1 cup of rice. So we're just going to dig out this rice, which now has this really great dressing on it. Not a dressing, but the drippings, all that, the seasonings, everything just fell all in there, incorporated. And we're going to take one of it, and we're going to take one of our pieces of chicken. Now, I'm going to show you something. This is how tender this really is. I'm just holding this with tongs. This is the bone right here. You know your chicken's good when you can literally peel off your chicken from the bone. Can't help it. I gotta try a little bit myself. and to see how this turns out. Hey, if you guys like this and you would love to see more, on the bottom right below, please hit the subscribe button. I would love for you guys to be able to see more of the opportunities and the great things that you can cook in just a simple good old pressure cooker. I'll be honest with you, this channel is completely all about the helping. I know there are single parents out there. There are people that are in the workforce that are like, man, I just want to cook a good meal and don't have to have a lot of all the prep and all the work that goes with it. And then, let's be honest, sometimes there's, for those of us that have been in college, it's hard to cook on your own. This is a great thing to have, and literally it will all fit within a laundry basket. So you don't have to worry, it'll all fit in the basket, you're good to go. Dry ingredients, frozen ingredients, things that will last from the walk from the store till you get to your dorm. So guys, it's been a pleasure and a privilege, and I really appreciate you watching. So have yourselves a good meal and enjoy. Best regards. Oh, wow.